today. We can watch it tomorrow and then take it. Okay?
You didn't hook up Coach Wiley with the home. They're good. I like this zero shirt.
Alright, what Coach Watson is passing out is my text. Don't write on my text. Okay? This is what you write on. Got me? Okay.
No price. $100 bill. You would sell $100 bill.
That's went down.
Take it. Does anybody have the stages of the hero's journey? Friendly reminder not to write on that. Excuse my voice. Coach, I gotta get Coach, no, I was trying to encourage and inspire 6th and 7th grade baseball players that haven't had a lot of game situations, right? So, trying to talk about how fielders can get along.
You're not even.
But there's a trick I know. We play coach in Oregon, for example. It's so loud at Odyssey Stadium. Gargle the seesaw. So I need to do that.
Right here.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
I didn't make that. You just start this year?
Here I did. I started this. Football, basketball, baseball, and wrestling. I'm gonna get here. TJ, here's my case of breaks. All right, everybody hear me and understand me. If not, hey, don't be afraid to ask for me to repeat what I said. Okay. So everybody got their 12 stages of the hero's journey. Right, out, ready, look. As you go along. All right, so 12 stages of the hero's journey. It's a commonly structured device from Joseph Campbell's magnificent book, The Hero with 1,000 Faces. Adapted 12 stages of the hero's journey. This is essentially a more detailed character arc for your story's hero, right? Which is overlaid onto more traditional 3-act structure. Many successful Hollywood movies, okay, such as Star Wars and The Wizard of Oz, follow this exact structure, right? They have a plan, right? There's 12 steps. So I think it's important as we're going to relate it to some of the Disney movies and epics, but we'll go on. And so let's talk about the first step or the first stage is the ordinary world, okay? The ordinary world. This is where the hero exists before his present story begins, okay? Of the adventures to come. It's his safe place. So as I read that, think about how that applies to the Odyssey. What was his safe place? Right? The next is a call, number 2, a call. Yep. We'll play this and then we'll.
All right, so what he's going to do, I'm going to learn how to fix it. Okay? What he's going to do in this video is what he just said, is that these 12 steps apply to all epics. Okay? Now, what is an epic? All What does an epic have to have?
An adventure.
Close. Has to have a hero, and that hero has to go on a journey. Okay? And so these 12 steps will fit in any epic that has a hero that goes on a journey. Okay? Now, these are the 5 Disney movies that we are going to go over. Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, Hercules, Mulan. I love Mulan. And The Lion King. Okay? And what this video is going to show you is it's going to show you what he just said. That's what he just read. So in the first column, you got to give me a characteristic of the stage in that first column. Okay? Now, at this point, if all you have is what's the first column that says, that's fine. Okay? We'll come back and apply it to the Odyssey. If you already know it, then you can put it. Okay? Okay. Watch. So the ordinary world is what he said. It's his safe. Yes.
Like characteristic as somebody.
You can put what he said about it's his safe place. Okay? Or you can put this. It's where he was living so far. Okay? His ordinary world is where the story first begins. It's his safe place. It was where he was living when the story first starts.
It anchors, guys, the hero as a human, right? Just like you and me, it makes it easier for us to identify with that hero. Hence later, and we'll empathize with this plight. What does empathize mean? Anybody know? Go ahead. What's empathize mean, my man? Feel for them. There's a difference between sympathy and empathy, right? Being able to put yourself in another person's shoes, okay? And coach brought up a great coaching point, and she's teaching me, right, as I continue to learn and grow, is you look at some of the list of the heroes, right? What are some other heroes from Disney movies? What about from Brave? Who's the hero of Brave?
Merida.
Good job, Meridia, right? How about Moana? There you go, simple, right? What about Frozen? Elsa and Anna, probably, right? Oh, okay. Pocahontas, right? Simple. Tarzan, right? Tangled. Who was the hero in Tangled? Who said it? Great job. Very good.
What about in Toy Story?
Oh,
Woody.
Woody.
nice.
Okay? All right. You ready? Everybody got characteristics? Wow. Stop. 2 clicks. That's perfect. So Simba when he was first born. Aladdin when he's a thief and he's in his, I don't know the name of the town. Whatever, that's his ordinary world, right? Mulan, she's doing her daily chores. Who's this?
Nice.
Okay, Belle's in her little town, reading her books, doing her thing in her ordinary safe place, right?
All right, a call to adventure, number 2. Okay? The hero faces a problem or a challenge. So hero adventures begins when he receives a call to action. Right? That call to action, such it could be a direct threat to his safety, to his family, his way of life, or peace-based call to adventure.
I think the key word there is call to action. Call for adventure is a call for action. Yes, sir. Oh, this one? Oh, wait. The call,
Guys,
all you
go
have to
ahead.
put is a
On your
call,
sheet.
faces a call to action. That's what that- No, that's fine. The hero faces a call to action.
As we go through this, make sure you're filling out the character, right? The characteristics of the stage.
Okay.
Real simple. You can write down what I say,
This
or you
is
can write
his
down
safe place.
what's there, right? What's up on the screen.
You just put it's his safe place. That'll be fine.
Coach has done a great job of, hey, a call to action, right? Putting emphasis on what that really is. Ordinary world, right? Where they're from.
At this point, if you'll just give me the characteristic of the stage, we can always come back and fill in how it applies to the Odyssey. Some of these are not going to come off the top of your head. Okay? So we'll come back to it. Okay? All right. Call to adventure. This is when they're attacking Milan. I can't remember the bad guy's name. Okay? Remember, if Jasmine doesn't, he falls in love with her and he doesn't know that she's the princess. Yeah. Okay. The father is detained by the beast, and Beauty wants to help her father.
All right, now we enter our third phase, or stage, right? Refusal of the call. So the hero, although the hero may be eager to accept the quest, at this stage he will have fears that need to be overcome, right? We always talk about in athletics, we need to be able to what? Persevere, adapt, and overcome, right? That is what we're in refusal of the call. So the hero's afraid to make a radical change in his life, refuse to face adventure. Also, right, be another person who discourages him to make a step forward by reminding him of the risks.
What's the key word? Overcome. But before you can overcome, you got to be afraid. Okay? Okay, so the hero is afraid. And sometimes, like Coach said, sometimes it can be a person that stands in the way. Sometimes it can just be your fear itself.
Personal doubts, right? Hey, Isaiah, do we ever want to go play with doubt?
No.
All right. Yeah.
All right, what is Bale afraid of? The beast. This is where Milan wants to help, but she's a woman. All right, this one's a person that gets in the way. Zazu? Little Hercules. Afraid.
All right, stage 4, meeting the mentor. Right? At this crucial turning point when the hero desperately needs guidance, he meets a mentor, a figure who gives him something he needs. Could be an object of great importance, right? A sword, a fleece, insight into the dilemma he faces, wise advice, right? Okay? Practical training or even self-confidence. As you can see on the board, the hero meets a mentor who guides him towards the adventure of danger, but the hero will have to face the challenges alone. So as we do this stage, think about who that might be. Who's the mentor in the Odyssey?
Who is it? We'll answer that one out loud. Who is Odysseus' mentor? Athena.
Great
Very
job.
good. Because what does Athena give him? Advice. Helps him. Gives him wisdom. Okay, gives him the wisdom. She gave him the wisdom for the wooden horse trick. She disguises him as a beggar. Okay. And if you'll notice, all Disney movies have some kind of mentor. Think about it. Almost all of them. Who was what in Cars? Who's the hero in Cars?
Oh, the
Lightning
flying
Lightning McQueen. And who? Not his friend, but who's his mentor? Doc Hudson.
Awesome.
Who's Simba's?
Mufasa.
His dad gives him advice several times. Hercules, you might know his. I don't know what I do. What's this guy's name? Remember? I can't remember. I'll see that.
It's all right. All right. Stage 5, crossing the threshold. The hero is now ready to act upon his call to adventure and truly begin his quest. Whether it be physical, spiritual, or emotional. He may go willingly or he may be pushed. Okay? But either way, he finally crosses that threshold between the world he's familiar with and which he is not. Right? If you look on page 1 of the hero's journey, right, you can take a look what happens. He goes from ordinary world and then crossing the threshold, he's going to enter what?
The special one.
That's exactly right. Great job. Great job. So the hero accepts the call to adventure. He enters a special world and crosses the point of no return.
When you cross a point of no return, that means you're crossing and there is no going back.
I'm all in.
I'm all in. Okay, just
Watch the movie.
ready?
Y'all ready? Everybody ready?
All right, this is when Milan decides she's going to be fight as a guy instead of a woman. She's made that decision. She's all in. All right, this is when he's decided he's going to go down and get that lamp, right? Down in. She's decided. What does she decide?
To take her father's place.
That Belle's gonna take her father's place and stay with the beast instead. Okay, see how they've crossed the threshold. They've crossed, and there is no going back. Well, this is forbidden territory, and they went into the elephant graveyard. Rise the Pegasus. Side street.
All right. Test allies, enemies. On your page, on the side where we're going to compare it to the Odyssey. Coach asked that we just put a T, right, an A, and an E. Okay, and then we'll fill those in as we go along. So, we went from crossing the threshold to test allies and enemies. Now, finally, out of his or her comfort zone, the hero is confronted, right, with even more difficult series of adventure challenges that test him or her in a variety of ways. Up here it says the hero's resolve is tested when he meets friends and foes along with him.
An ally is a friend or foe. An ally. An ally is your friend. An enemy is obviously your foe. Okay, what does coach mean by test?
Like challenges.
Okay, a test is testing you, right? You've got to make a choice to see what you can stand, to see what you can do. Okay, it's a test. Okay, it's not your friend. They're not your friend, and they're not necessarily your enemy. They're just kind of testing you to see if you pass or fail. Okay.
Here's an example of that, right? The hero's got to find out who can be trusted and who can't. That's a test, right? We all get tested that way in life. So let's be empathize with this. Everybody got that? Good.
Who are they? Test, ally, or enemy?
Enemy.
Those are enemies. That's his mentor. What about him?
Ally.
That's an ally. Good. What about that?
Test.
That's a test, right? It's string the bows. All those are tests. What about her?
Ally.
Oh boy.
Ally.
She's an ally. She helps him. How does she help him?
She helps him in the end become a god or a demigod.
At this point, though, it's a test. Okay? At this point, it's a test. Okay? Another thing, see how Mufasa come in and helps Simba? Okay? This is very important. Your mentor it does not count as an ally. Okay? The mentor is the mentor. But they're not considered. What is he doing there? That's a test. What are they? Those are allies. What about that? Test. Good. What about him? An ally.
All right, the seventh stage. Approach to the inmost cave. What's a cave?
Dark place. Good.
Okay. What do? You walk in a cave, right? So the inmost cave may represent many things in the hero's story, right? Such as an actual location in which lies terrible danger, or an inner conflict which up until now the hero has not had to face. As the hero approaches the cave, he must make final preparations before taking that final leap into the great unknown. Up on here, the hero has adjusted to the special world at this point and goes on to seek its heart and inmost
In Aladdin, where does he go to a dark place?
The tiger in the sand, like the mouth.
Okay, and so he goes down in there to get the land, right? That's the dark place, right? Okay, where in the Odyssey does Odysseus go somewhere that's like
The underworld.
very good, like the underworld, right? Like the land of the dead. That's just like Aladdin, right? Yes, he did have to give a sacrifice. Okay, good. So on the other side over there, where we applied it to the Odyssey, we put when he went to the land of the dead. That was sad. When the line, when they burned up. Where's he going? What about her? On the west wing where
The rose.
rose was? That looks land of the dead, doesn't it?
Eighth stage is the ordeal. So the supreme ordeal may have might be a dangerous physical test or a deep inner crisis. Okay, that the hero must face in order to survive, or for the world in which the hero lives to continue to exist. Okay? Whether he's facing the greatest fear or most deadly foe, the hero must draw upon all of the skills and experience gathered upon the path to the inmost cave. Right? Remember, it's not it doesn't have to be a literal cave, just that dark place. Right? In order to overcome his most difficult challenge. So here we have, it's a critical moment in the story. The hero may face death and is directly confronted to his deepest fears. That is the ordeal.
That would be one.
We don't want to talk it out loud.
But I love it.
I love the fact that your wheels are thinking. That's good. Okay? You think about it. It's the closest that he comes so far to death. You know? It's the big ordeal. Something makes a big ordeal about something. It's a big deal, right? Ordeal is a big deal. So this would be when it makes a big deal and he comes the closest he can to facing death. You ready?
Everybody doing good? Everybody keeping up? Okay.
Remember when Simba almost died and Mufasa did die? A lot of times this is when somebody may die. Like, what about her? Remember when all those people were coming? Remember? She bowed. Every Disney movie has a big ordeal where they almost die. They almost don't overcome. She almost gets eaten by the wolves. Who is that Hercules is fighting?
Hera?
Hydra.
All right. The ninth stage, the reward, seizing the sword. After defeating the enemy, surviving death, and finally overcoming his or her greatest personal challenge, the hero is ultimately transformed into a new state, emerging from battle a stronger person and often with a prize. The reward may come in forms of an object of great importance, power, secret, greater knowledge or insight, or even reconciliation with a loved one or an ally. Okay? So the reward, the hero has seized a treasure, weapon, power, knowledge, awareness, reconciliation.
Not always, by no means. But a lot of times in these Disney princess ones, which one do they usually gain?
Love.
Power? Cinderella gained a weapon or power?
Love.
Rapunzel gained a weapon or power? Okay? Love, right? All these Disney princesses. True, but Flynn Rider and her fell in love. Okay? Think about it. All these Disney princesses had a prince. Okay? And most, I'm not saying all of them by no means, but many of them, they found, the princess and the frog. Two frogs fell in love. Okay? Prince Lagoon. He went from zero to a hero. So he gained fame. She found love. Beauty found love. And then Simba found love. Yeah. What's her name?
Nala.
Nala.
All right, so we just covered the reward. Remember in the reward, guys, that whatever that treasure is, love, right, what weapon, however it comes down, it's facilitating the hero's what? Return to the ordinary world. Okay? So now we go to the road back. So stage 10 is the road back. Okay? Stage in the hero's journey represents a reverse echo of the call to adventure in which the hero had to cross the first threshold. Now he or she must return home with his or her reward, but this time the anticipation of danger is replaced with that of reclaim and perhaps vindication, absolution, or even exoneration. Coach Meeks just said what? He went from a hero or zero to a hero. Right, spoken on the road back, the hero spoke, forced to finish what has been started. He decides to go back to the ordinary world with his treasure, whatever that may be, he faces the enemy.
The road back is essentially just that. Way back. Okay? First one that comes to my mind is Simba. When does Simba go back? When he was all Hakuna Matata, right? And he decides to go back to the Pride Lands, go back to his home. Okay? They already know she's a woman, but she's going back to save her town. This time she's going back because her father was sick. She's leaving. Going back. Sir? Well, they, Jafar, sent him to that real cold place or whatever, but that rogue, and he escaped, and he comes back and fights him. That one used to scare my little girl. Jafar used to scare, and the voodoo man at the end of The Princess and the Frog used to scare my little girl too.
All right, everybody caught up. All right, the 11th stage is the resurrection. Okay, this is the climax of the story, the last dangerous encounter with death. The hero is tested on what he or she has learned during the journey. It's also the climax, right? The hero must have his or her final and most dangerous encounter with death. A final battle also represents something far greater than the hero's own experience or own existence, with its outcome having far-reaching consequences from the ordinary to his or her ordinary world and the lives of those that he left behind. So he's being resurrected. Think about resurrection. Everybody know what that word means? Good job.
If you think about this, on every Disney movie, they always have some final battle. I mean, think about it. It doesn't matter really which one it is. They always have some final battle. I mean, the Voodoo Man on Princess and the Frog, Jafar, Moana, like even Frozen. You know, they all have some final battle that takes place. Okay, ready? villagers, but it won. She fought that bad dude. Every Disney movie, every epic has some kind of final battle. I clapped. Yes.
Love it. Okay. Stage 12, the final stage. Return of the elixir. The hero is now back to the ordinary world, but he brought with him a treasure to share. It could be love, wisdom, knowledge, freedom of oppression. This is the final stage of the hero's journey in which he returns home to his ordinary world, a changed man or woman. He or she will have grown as a person, learned many things, faced many terrible dangers, and even death, but now looks forward to the start of a new life, hence the resurrection, right? His or her return may bring fresh hope to those that he left behind, direct solutions to their problems, and perhaps a new perspective for everyone to consider.
This is basically, like Coach said, when he goes back to his ordinary world, and this is where everybody's happy. This is where everything is. Yes? One sec. Just a second. Okay. Favorite part of the Lion King.
Here we go. There we go.
Okay. All right. So what I need from you, okay, is you should have filled out all of the characteristics of that particular stage. Okay. Now we'll take a bathroom break in just a second, but before we do, let's flip it back over to the first side. Stage number 1. I want everybody to be on the same page. Okay. Where is Odysseus's safe place? Okay? When he is at home in Ithaca, and that's his safe place, right? And so it will go from there. Now, oftentimes, and I won't say always, oftentimes it will go in chronological order. Okay? But when you go to apply it, like Coach said, when you go to apply stage number 6, the test, the allies, and the enemies, make sure you put the test, an ally, and an enemy. Okay? Remember, your mentors cannot be considered an ally. They're a stage above that. Okay?
We're going to pull up the map. Get rid of these ads so we can see. How's it going?
14.
Get rid of that ad. That might be the ad that doesn't want to be. You need to get up so you can see, right? Just talk about the journey, okay? Just need your secretary. Utilize that map to help. You as you fill that out. Let's make sure we're working independently, okay, on these answers. I can't do that. I don't know.